Alright guys, Revolver Rotolot here, and today, or even this afternoon, or even tonight, because it's like 7 o'clock, I will be reviewing WWE Backlash 2016, the first SmackDown Live pay-per-view, post-brand split. Now, I'm sorry I couldn't get the video up earlier. I was in Lincoln today sorting out all my university stuff. I'll be moving on... I've just got to get my wallet out of my pocket. I'll be moving on Saturday, and videos may slow down. I may not be reviewing Raw anymore. I may not be reviewing SmackDown. I will maybe still be reviewing NXT, and I will hopefully be reviewing pay-per-views and predicting pay-per-views as well. Plus, just random videos. I've seen my accommodation. I'll be taking my iPad, so I will be able to record on that. Even if I couldn't, I guess I could use my phone. It's not the greatest quality in the world, but it's still fine. But anyway, thank you guys, obviously, for all, everyone that watches my videos. It really makes me happy to see my videos get views and get likes and stuff, and people comment. It's really, really great for me, and it shows that what I'm doing is at least entertaining some viewers, so I want to thank you all very, very much for that. This isn't the end of my channel. This is just it's not even going to break. It's just a new day, you could say, in my new... This will be not the last video in my room, my glorious room. I will have glorious, I didn't even notice the joke there. I will have this video here, my Raw review, my SmackDown review, and then my NXT and finale CWC reviews. And then my next video next week, I'll probably post a video of me in my new apartment, in my new accommodation. God, that's going to be hard to record stuff with all these other people, but I'll get it done, trust me. But anyway, let's talk about this Backlash pay-per-view. Now, in my predictions, I was not looking forward to the show. I was looking forward to the main event, and the rest of the matches I thought, the women I said was going to be... I didn't think the women would be good at all. I didn't think either of the tags would be specifically good. I didn't think the Miss Ziggler match would be very good, to be honest. I've seen it quite a lot, and none of the matches have really ever blown me away. And in the end, this show was actually pretty damn good. And not a great show, really not a great show, but everything to me over-delivered to some degree. The women shocked me. Miz and Ziggler had a really good matchup. The main event was awesome. The tag matches were actually quite decent. And I guess we should kick off with the pre-show matchup. We had Apollo Crews and Baron Corbin. This was made on the pre-show when Crews and Corbin kind of went face-to-face, and Daniel Bryan was there, and he just made the matchup. I've seen this matchup before, of course, NXT TakeOver London. That matchup was good. I think I gave it like 2.5 stars. This matchup was decent. Good finishing segment, good last couple of minutes with Crews dodging Corbin as he went into the steps, and then Crews building a huge bit of momentum, getting a near fall off the standing moonsault. But in the end, I thought a good finish. Apollo Crews is punching Baron Corbin in the corner. Corbin kind of pops him up and then knees him in the face. End of days, 1, 2, 3, Baron Corbin beats Apollo Crews. Decent matchup, 2 3/4 stars. Good way for a good pre-show matchup, I guess. Decent matchup though overall, and not a bad way to kick the show off. Let me just get a little bit more comfortable here. Dean Ambrose shirt today. I don't have any of the winners on this show as t-shirts. Spoiler, but you're gonna find out that Dean Ambrose lost anyway, and you probably know by now anyway. But anyway, the show kicked off with the 6-pack challenge matchup, and before that, Daniel Bryan and Shane would come out. I think this was to kill time. The pay-per-view didn't go 3 hours; it went 2:40. And I think if you cut out this, it'd probably be more like 2:25. So, anyway, we started with a 6-pack challenge. A little bit shocking to see this start. I thought this would have been the match before the main event, if you wanted to make the belts seem really important. But a lot of respect has to go to these women, because I put very little faith in them. Now, it's not that these women aren't talented. They're all very talented in different ways. But when you have 6 women... and none of the women outside of Becky and Natalya are really great workers. When you have 6 women, it is very hard to put together a good matchup because of how complicated it has to be with 6 people. I mean, 6 incredible guys, it would be very hard for them to have a great matchup. These women had a pretty good matchup. I'm going to be a little bit semantic-y there. They had a pretty good matchup. Now, it went 14 minutes, which was a good amount of time, and we had a good period of time where no one was being eliminated. Everyone got their spots in. Alexa did a couple of sunset flip powerbombs, which looked really, really slick. I really, really liked those. Naomi had a great spot where she did a springboard dive, which you don't see a lot of women do springboards. You can see some do topes or suicidas, but not springboards. So great springboard crossbody to the 5 women outside of the ring. Becky had a couple of moments where she was in control. There was a stare down with Becky and Naomi. The Carmella Nikki Bella storyline came into play at points, but at a certain point the eliminations came, and they came fast, and I think that was actually very, very smart, because in the end at least every woman did get their lick in until that point. So the first elimination came when Alexa Bliss was pinned by Naomi after a blockbuster powerbomb from Naomi and Natalya. Naomi gets the first pin, Alexa Bliss eliminated. Definitely the first one who should have gone, really, when I think about it, so good stuff there. Naomi would then be eliminated by Natalya. Naomi was hit with the Misawa-like elbow or forearm, from Nikki Bella, and then locked in the sharpshooter by Natalya. Naomi taps out, so that's Naomi who is eliminated, has a pinfall over someone. So I think everyone in this matchup did look very, very good. The ones that got eliminated at least got pinfalls outside of Alexa Bliss. Natalya, would be eliminated next. Big forearm from Nikki Bella, then the TKO, but then immediately Carmella would pin Nikki Bella, meaning that the last 2 in the matchup were Carmella and Becky Lynch. My prediction was Carmella, and in the end I was wrong. Becky Lynch is the new WWE SmackDown, the inaugural SmackDown Women's Champion. My friend was ecstatic about this. I thought this was good. It was one of those cool moments. It wasn't one of those moments where I was like, yay, great, yay. It was cool to see Becky win the belt. She really has been shafted quite a lot. She was never the NXT Women's Champ. She was never the Divas Champ. She never held the Women's title. And now she finally has a Women's title on a brand with a division that I hope can be built around her, and she can probably, elevate a lot of those women and have good matches at least with some of them. So Becky Lynch is the first ever SmackDown Women's Champion. She beat Carmella with the disarmer. She did 3 consecutive exploders. Carmella gave her the super kick. Becky caught her with a disarmer, and that was it. Becky. That was my prediction was wrong. I obviously predicted Carmella. My prediction in the first matchup was Apollo Crews, so I was 0-2 at this point. I give the matchup, this 6-pack challenge, 3.25 stars. I think the 3rd best match on the show. These women tried very, very hard. They surprised me. It was 100 times better than it had any right to be, because of the fact that it's 6 women, and they're not all great workers. So kudos to these women. They had a pretty good matchup, and honestly, considering the talent, it was a really good matchup. Then we moved on to the tag team matchup, the Hype Bros against the Usos. I thought this was actually a decent matchup, probably the best matchup the Hype Bros have ever had. The Usos here, I love the heels, the heel style. I love the new look, the black outfit. They've got rid of the face paint. They are true heels. The music should probably be swapped though for something a little bit more sinister. In the end, the finish, I love the Usos' new finish. The splash onto the leg while the Tequila Sunrise is locked in, and then they would lock the Tequila Sunrise back in. Zack Ryder taps out. Really good finish. Decent matchup. 2.75 stars. Again, better than I thought it would be, especially considering Mojo Rawley was in the match. Probably the best matchup Mojo Rawley's ever been a part of, to be honest. Then we had Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz. I thought this was a very good matchup. And I do want to say, after the 6-pack challenge, Randy Orton was attacked backstage by Bray Wyatt, which would lead to their matchup later on in the show being cancelled. Orton was reportedly not going to be competing on the show, and they were promoting the matchup on the pre-show, and I thought that was really cheap of them. But anyway, yeah, we had Dolph Ziggler and The Miz. This was probably the best matchup these two have had together. From The Miz, this has to be one of his best performances. The Miz was so good here. He mocked Daniel Bryan. He did the drop kicks. He did the surfboard stretch. He was awesome. Ziggler got a couple of great 2 counts off a super kick and DDTs and stuff. Really, really good matchup. I would have given this matchup 3.75 stars if the finish had not annoyed me. The finish saw Maurice spray something in the eyes of Ziggler. Ziggler would then be hit with a skull-crushing finale from The Miz. 1, 2, 3. The Miz retains the belt. That is a prediction correct. which means I'm now 2-2. And 3.5 stars, very good matchup. I just didn't like the finish. Second best match on the show, really good from these guys. And again, better than I thought, you know? Better than I thought it'd be, and that's really what I wanted from this show, to be honest. We had the Bray Wyatt-Randy Orton matchup, and as Bray Wyatt came out, we were told that the Randy Orton was not cleared to compete. Bray Wyatt then said he wanted the referee to count Randy Orton out, which to me doesn't seem like a thing the Bray Wyatt character would do. Bray Wyatt's hand would then be raised. The announcer would then say that Bray Wyatt is now in a no-holds-barred match against Kane, and that was the matchup. Bray Wyatt against Kane, no-holds-barred. I thought, again, decent matchup. These two guys had a decent no-holds-barred match. The senton from Bray, the running senton through the table, the announce table to Kane, was a really good spot. The Uranagi on the chair, Wyatt kicking out of a chokeslam was a nice spot, which I was shocked that he kicked out. But in the end, Randy Orton walks down, RKO's Bray Wyatt, and then Kane chokeslams Bray Wyatt again. 2.75 stars. Kane wins. Probably my only match on the show where I feel like the victor was wrong. I predicted Bray Wyatt would win. He didn't. That means I'm 2-3 in my predictions. But decent matchup overall. I really did like that running senton spot through the announce table. Decent matchup. You know, again, it did shock me. We had the announcement that the next SmackDown pay-per-view will be No Mercy on October 8th. 4 weeks from now. I imagine the main event will be Ambrose and Styles again. If I'm looking at the show, I feel like they'll do Carmella and Nikki Bella. There's still some bad blood there. Maybe Becky Lynch against Natalya, if you really want to establish this belt and give it some prestige. Have a great matchup to kick off the defences of Becky Lynch, who won't lose the belt anytime soon. I feel like she may lose it at TLC or maybe the Rumble. But yeah, No Mercy should be a pretty good show. I imagine Slater and Rhino will probably lose the tag belts at that show as well. And speaking of Slater and Rhino, the penultimate match on the show, the SmackDown Live Tag Team titles, the inaugural SmackDown Live Tag Team titles. I think the belts are hideous. Some people like it. I think they're bloody hideous. Heath Slater and Rhino against the Usos. This matchup made total sense, and I think it was booked perfectly. Slater, to me, is an okay worker. He's not a good worker, he's not a great worker, he's okay. And Rhino has a ability to have great bursts of short power. Short bursts of power, sorry, is what I meant to say there. Kind of like Goldberg. And that's exactly what this match was. Heath Slater did very little offense. The Usos dominated him until they could finally make the tag. Rhino was in for a short period. Heath Slater would get back in, get hit with a super kick. Rhino speared the Uso out of his boots. Heath Slater covered the Uso 1, 2, 3. Heath Slater and Rhino are the inaugural SmackDown Tag Team Champions. It's weird, and they won't hold the belt for very long, but it's nice to see this story end happily. Now, I preferably would have wanted the Usos to win here. You wanted to get these guys over as big heels that are hated, and if they beat Slater by pinning or making Heath Slater tap out, they would have got mega heat, and that means that they could have gone into a program with American Alpha when Chad Gable returns. Now, I do like the fact that Heath Slater and Rhino won, but I wish that part of me did want the Usos to win, because, you know, part of me, I wanted Slater and Rhino to win because they're the baby faces and you should want them to win, but from a logical booking standpoint, I think the Usos winning would have been a really, really good move, and a really smart move from creative, but they didn't take the opportunity there. But, hey-ho, they do still have a happy ending to a story that, sadly, what do they do with Heath Slater now? I have no idea where we'll go from here. I don't think the title reign will last very long, but I guess we will find out. 2.75 stars I gave the match as well. I preferred the Hype Bros Usos matchup, but again, still a decent matchup and better than I thought it'd be. Now we move on, and that put my predictions at 3 apiece. So the main event was going to be the tiebreaker for predictions. AJ Styles and Dean Ambrose for the WWE World title. This match was very slow at the beginning, and it didn't really kick in until Ambrose hit that reverse exploder off the top rope. Very Shinsuke Nakamura reverse exploder off the top rope. Great spot there. And after that, it was on point, and it was fantastic. Great stuff. Styles was awesome here. He mocked Ambrose. He was one step ahead of him at every single turn, but Ambrose would fight back into the matchup and pull off some great moves, a big dropkick sending Styles to the floor. But Styles had such a fantastic arsenal of moves. The Ushigoroshi, the Argentine spin-out powerbomb, such a good move. The springboard 450, he went for the phenomenal forearm but could never hit it. And in the end, the finish, I think it's nice because it wraps the story up, which I know we'll have a rematch, but it calls back to where the story began. The crotch on the ropes from AJ Styles was where the story between the two began. And in the end, Styles is inadvertently knocked into the ref, Ambrose is dazed, and Styles kicks him in the bollocks, hits him with the Styles Clash, one Styles Clash, and pins him. AJ Styles is the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Easily the match of the night, 4.25 stars. I thought this was a little bit better than I thought it'd be. I thought it'd be probably 4 stars, maybe 3 3/4. But better than I thought it'd be. Really awesome matchup and a great way to end the show. Match of the night very easily. As a huge AJ Styles fan, I marked out seeing AJ Styles win the battle. He's my 5th favourite wrestler of all time. Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero, Kurt Angle, Shawn Michaels, and AJ Styles are my 5 favourite wrestlers. So seeing Styles win was awesome. I believe he's the 2nd man to hold the IWGP, TNA, and WWE titles, but I believe he's the 1st to hold the TNA, IWGP, NWA, and WWE titles. So AJ Styles goes down in the record books, and damn, he got a lot of praise last night, and people called him the best wrestler in the world. On this show, he looked like the best wrestler in the world. 4.25 stars, great matchup, and that was Backlash 2016. Overall, if I was rating the show, based on match quality, it's probably like a 6 or a 6.5 out of 10. But when I look at the show and I look at the importance of the show, and it felt important, you had a big title change in the main event, you had 2 champions crowned, inaugural champions nevertheless, you had Becky Lynch finally climbing the mountaintop, you had the ending of Heath Slater's the meteoric rise, you had Rhino, after 18 years finally winning tag gold, you had the Usos, great heel work in their matches, and you had a really good IC title matchup, which made The Miz look awesome outside of the finish. So in the end, I'm going to give this show a 7 out of 10. I think this was a good show. Not a great show, but a good show, and I did enjoy watching it pretty much all the way through. So guys, thanks for watching. This has been Raw Wrestler. Like, comment, and subscribe for more. Tell me your thoughts on Backlash 2016. What matchup was your favourite? What do you think to AJ Styles winning the WWE World title? What do you think to The Miz and Dolph Ziggler's Intercontinental title matchup? And what do you think to Slater, Rhino, and Becky being the inaugural champions? Thanks for watching. This has been Raw Wrestler.